Of the 5 young victims, only one survived. Sally Hardesty, who after telling her story to the police, never again spoke of the horrors she saw that day. After hearing Hardesty's account, officials released this composite picture of the killer. He is said to have worn a mask made of human skin. However, his true identity remains a mystery. For the next hour, we'll take you on a journey into one of Texas's most famous unsolved murders. Hey everyone, welcome to the Movie Club. We are your bad movie boys, Matt and Tommy, and today we're going to be talking about 2022's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 2022's Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the 9th in the series. Director David Blue Garcia decided to take the Halloween approach, where he rebooted the series, but in this universe, he pretends that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Texas Chainsaw Massacre The Next Generation, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre The Beginning, Texas Chainsaw, and Leatherface never happened. He throws out all that bullshitty garbage and he just says, no, you know what? We're going to take the Texas Chainsaw franchise and we are going to build back better. Oh, what's that, Tommy? Oh, this movie sucks? Ah, shit. The movie starts with our main characters, Melody, Lila, Dante, and Ruth, stopping at a gas station on their way to Harlow, just so they can make fun of locals getting gas from the comfort of their electric car.
Look at this guy. Who has such a small dick that they need to walk around in public with a fucking gun? Like, I mean, is he compensating for something? I mean, I'm just...
We get it. Hey, Tommy, did you know they're driving an electric car?
They practically shove it down your throat that they're driving an electric car.
Lila's in the back seat liking some school shooting photos on Instagram, and she does a not-so-subtle cover-up of a bullet wound. So, if you didn't catch that subtlety, Lila is a school shooting survivor. It was definitely a choice to go with gun control undertones in this movie, considering they're trying to stop a chainsaw-wielding madman. If anything, they probably should have had chainsaw control undertones in this movie. The state of Texas alone have had 9 massacres relating to them. Regardless, though, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out later in the movie. If they're going to try and stop Leatherface without using guns, they're not.
Because if there's one thing a movie with like 9 sequels told you, they're probably not going to kill him at the end.
Dante tells Melody to check out his Instagram post because it's blowing up. Hey guys, today's the day. We're finally giving birth to this crazy dream Mel and I had. I don't really think that 2,000 views is blowing up, and this is coming from a channel that has double-digit subscribers, not a big deal. This video gives us some plot exposition. They bought the ghost town of Harlow, a ghost town that has its own sheriff's department.
They don't pull over this psycho, but they stop us?
Put your hands where they could see them.
It's not funny.
Call me if there are any issues.
What?
Sure. We have
What
your number
fucking
and,
cop has a business card?
Thank you for your service, sir.
It just says 911 printed on it.
Some of us were born.
You can really get a sense of how the rest of this movie is going to go, just with these really cringy, really cheesy, woke lines of dialogue.
He's just a fucking co-roller.
Put your hands where they could see them.
Lit.
This is a chance for people to start fresh somewhere, without all the violence and the madness.
So, Richter, why are you such a nihilist?
I don't have a problem with Negroes.
So they finally get to Harlow, and they realize that the man who they made fun of his pee-pee size at the gas station is actually their contractor. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that the lone man in the middle of nowhere, Texas, might be the lone man in the middle of nowhere, Texas they hired to help them with their investment? Oh, shit. Sorry. Richter, we spoke on the phone.
Yeah.
Dante.
Hey.
Richter is our contractor, Mel.
Small world.
They walk around town and they see a Confederate flag hanging outside of the old orphanage. So they go inside to remove it because it's on the second story window. And they find out that there's actually an old lady who still lives there. She says, I don't need to leave. This is my home. There's been a mix-up at the bank. It's that simple. There's just a silly little mix-up. Wait for the
What
contract.
are you doing in our house?
Ma'am,
The bank, reclaimed this property months ago. You're not supposed to be here. You talking about that old mix-up with the bank? That's been settled.
Melody, being rational, says, okay, just, we'll figure this out. Show us the deed. No. Dante throws a fucking tantrum. Okay, fuck this.
You watch your mouth, boy.
You watch yours.
Where are you going?
Let the cops deal with this. I don't have time. She's absolutely right. She doesn't have to show him anything. And then the cops show up and arrest her without a warrant, which, going by how woke this movie is, you would think that arresting people without a warrant would be high on their list of things to say is not good.
Come on, let's go. Take it easy.
Then she throws up, and then her son comes to help, and her son is obviously Leatherface.
It's all right. That's her boy.
In his 70s. So Leatherface is still living in the orphanage, and he shows up to carry her into the ambulance so they can take her to get medical attention, and Ruth joins them for absolutely no reason. While they're driving to wherever they're going, the old lady dies, and man, this lady is really, really milking her screen time. So this sets Leatherface off, and there's actually a really well done gruesome kill here.
It's like they taught us in Napoleon Dynamite. You break the wrist and walk away.
Okay, now watch this. I'm just gonna break the wrist and walk away. Break the wrist, walk away.
Do not stab the guy with his own bone.
And one thing leads to another, and everybody in the sheriff's van dies. So right before that whole mess happened, Ruth texted Melody that the old lady died, but she sent such a weirdly enthusiastic text message.
Oh my god.
Aw shit, the old lady died. Yay!
See you soon.
Before Ruth dies, she's hiding from Leatherface while he's cutting the face off of the orphanage owner to put on his own face. She uses the CB radio to signal for help, and for some reason the CB radio just goes to the gas station shop.
He's wearing her face. He's wearing her face.
He does a rational thing. He calls the sheriffs and... Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. He calls 70-year-old Sally from the original movie. Hey there, I'm calling for Hardesty. Oh, sure, I'll hold. Richter hears that the old lady dies, so he goes and he steals the keys from Dante. Hey, just take the car, I'll take the bus back.
Wait, what the fuck? She just gave us back the keys.
Show me the deed to that house. You left him back. I'll be in the shop. Let's keep the bank out of this.
Please tell me you have it.
I think the bank would know. Right, like, the bank sold you the properties. The bank probably knows which ones did not sell. Lila says, yeah, hey, idiots. If she actually didn't sell her house, wouldn't the deed still be in her house in the orphanage somewhere? So they go through the orphanage and they're looking through the drawers and they, sure enough, find the deed. While Melody is upstairs, Leatherface comes out, sneaks up on Dante, and slits his throat. Leatherface sees Melody and she runs upstairs. He opens the closet that she's hiding in, and he gets distracted by a dress, and then I can't believe I'm going to say this, but he puts makeup on the face on his face. And then you're thinking, okay, he's gonna find Melody, right? Because like he knows she went to that room and he knows she went into that closet and he opened the closet and it's not like she's hiding very well, but instead he hears a noise outside, throws a tantrum, and leaves.
Oh no, social justice warriors.
Out of nowhere, he comes back and just starts doing random home renovation. And I guess it's because he hid his chainsaw in the walls of the orphanage.
Melody like is now hiding under the bed. You hear he's like grabbing something, and you don't see like what he has. He just blatantly just full on drops the chainsaw just for like a cheap jump scare. Like maybe he's getting clumsy in his old age, but
Is that a gas-powered chainsaw? And again, if we haven't stressed this enough, Leatherface is 70 in this movie.
yes.
Which is absolutely insane, the stuff that he can do at age 70.
And that's being generous. Like that's like
Yeah.
underestimate, like rounding down, probably. We weren't sure really how old he was in the first movie because you don't see his face, because he's got another face on his face.
While this is happening, surprise, Dante isn't dead. Yeah, he lost a lot of blood, but he was laying in it, so everybody knows that when you lay in it, it just kind of sucks back up in your system like a sponge.
Right.
Hey, man. You okay?
Oh!
Do you want to know how I got these scars?
White people never know how to do the handshake. The banker sees Dante, and then she just walks back on the bus and she ignores everyone.
Shut the door. Keep the door closed.
What happened?
I don't know. Just keep it closed.
You're not gonna tell anybody what you just saw? And then not even a few minutes later, Elsie Fisher does the exact same thing.
Where are you going?
Melody! Mel!
She walks outside and sees him, and then she just goes back on the bus and doesn't say anything. Two people finding him dead and not saying anything, and also not dead of natural causes. Must have been the rain.
Yeah, he must have slipped on something. He was always clumsy.
So Richter decides that he's going to check out the orphanage, and he gets into a fight with 70-year-old Leatherface. You would think that Richter, a man who's actually in pretty decent shape and is not an elderly man wearing another woman's face, would actually do pretty well in this fight.
He is no match for a sledgehammer to the knee. Leatherface doesn't know that Melody's under the bed still, but he should, because when Richter comes through the door, she sticks her foot out from under the bed and turns the mirror so that Richter can see that someone is
Yes.
behind the door. And
Yes.
then, after Richter is on the ground dying, he, not so subtly, grabs his keys, or with the bus keys, and dangles them out to give to Melody. And Leatherface knows he's doing something because he proceeds to bash his head in.
Melody then grabs the keys from Richter, which is an incredibly loud thing to do. She hilariously tries to get away.
Which would make way more noise.
So then, yeah, there's a hilarious exchange when Melody climbs down the railing and then they make eye contact with each other.
Is he not even up there? He's downstairs.
Yep.
Oh, well, you're good at doing
I do love how like she's climbing over the banister and she's like looking and like doesn't see him, and then she like drops down and lands on the steps and looks up and he's right at the top of the steps. Like that was
Yeah.
I love that.
There were too many comedic moments in this movie for it to be an effective horror movie. Yeah, peekaboo.
Yeah. Like why?
I don't know how she's not dead. One, the force of a sledgehammer through the chest. Two, it made her go through the floor.
Just get that. I'm fine.
She's like running around in the crawl space underneath the house. And in the grossest moment of the movie, she gets poop piped. Just imagine 50 years of big Leatherface dump just all of a sudden pouring out on you. It's raining outside, so all the investors have corralled themselves into the bus they rode in on, which is not an electric bus. They start it, and somehow Leatherface stops the entire bus filled with people.
This way.
They don't explain it. They don't even show it.
Don't open the... Dude, where are you going?
The way like the head comes in, like it's like clearly like angled, like it's like almost like at least a 45-degree angle or so that head comes in to get up to like the near the like driver's seat, and then it shows like the people on the bus reacting to it, and Leatherface is literally right next to the window walking up to the front of the bus. Really put some English on that to get that, like curve the head like Wanted style.
Let's just talk about this bus scene real quick. It did such a good job in the trailer of making me not want to see this movie.
Ron, what are you doing?
Try anything and you're canceled, bro.
The most like young person thing ever is a man gets on a bus with a chainsaw, and the first thing everyone does is all the phones come out and go live.
You would think that all these people who have cell phones, at least one of them would call the police. No. But yeah, so hilarious scene. Everybody dies. We don't know any of the characters in the bus. Don't care that they died, which, again, just time waster in a movie that barely hits like 70 minutes.
I think the best part is as everyone's getting butchered on this bus, like they're all just like punching the windows. Nobody is like trying to do anything. And then I'm blanking on her name, but the one woman, the like representative of the bank,
I resign today as president of the bank.
Finally just like hits the lever and opens the window and starts to climb towards safety, and then she proceeds to get chainsawed in half, and then her top half just falls out of the bus.
Melody and Elsie Fisher escape the bus. They're running away, and who comes to save them? Sally.
Get in the back.
Sally comes to their rescue, and they climb into the car, and you're thinking, okay, great, Sally's here, they're safe, they're gonna get to safety.
Please, guys, you have to let us out of here, please.
I'm sorry, I can't. It's you that he wants.
What? So now they're prisoners?
I would say, yeah, which that's an annoying thing, like in horror movies when they do that, like, hey, stay here, you'll be safe in the back of the locked police car where they can't get to the front, they can't get out, so it's like, oh, this police officer is going to be immediately murdered, and now the killer is going to try to get them in the back of the police car.
Yes, and it's compounded by this movie because now they're locked in this tiny box while a 70-year-old woman fights a 70-year-old man to end their 50-year vendetta. When they get in the car, Sally says, looks like it's you that he wants. How does she know that? Because she then, right, goes to find him and he's just sitting in his room. So they escaped and he did not follow them. So she's just making that up.
How does she know what Leatherface wants?
Sally, just shoot the guy. Also, what happened to the gun control undertones here? I guess maybe that's why she doesn't shoot him, because guns are never the answer.
Except at this point, it is the answer to end this movie.
So anyway, yeah, she just lets him leave. So then, like, she waits until Elsie and Melody are in danger before she shoots Leatherface. So guns being the solution, he runs away. You know, again, 70-year-old man running is kind of funny.
Yeah. He's pretty spry for a 70-year-old man.
He comes back. She shoots him again. She stabs him. And yet, he just takes his chainsaw and just smoothies her inside.
Sally, who is just basically a Laurie Strode ripoff from the new Halloweens, who's been training her whole life for this one day when she finally finds Leatherface. And this is the one main difference. Laurie puts up a fight. Sally immediately dies. And then I just love he just casually just throws her off.
The girls try to hit him with their car and miss. Elsie Fisher is still like traumatized from the school shooting because earlier in the movie she picks up an unloaded gun and like freaks out. But now, you know, it's a life or death situation, so she picks up a gun and she points it at Leatherface, but because guns are bad and guns are never the answer, she doesn't know how to use it, and then she almost dies. But what saves her life, Tommy?
A gun.
She shoots Leatherface again twice with the shotgun while she's laying in the trash. Elsie then takes the shotgun from Sally and she chases Leatherface into an old abandoned movie theater that for some reason had an in-ground pool. They start to tussle, and this is by far the best scene in the movie. Like an elegant dolphin, Leatherface just fucking free jumps out of the bottom of that pool.
One of my favorite things in this movie is how they try to build up like Lila, like Elsie Fisher, like how she survived a school shooting and how she's still traumatized, but like you think switch is going to be flipped and she becomes like the survivor girl and that mentality. And the Leatherface knocks her down in the like abandoned movie theater and she's immediately like ready to die.
Melody comes to her rescue. She distracts Leatherface long enough for Elsie to grab the shotgun again, pump 2 more shots into Leatherface. So I wrote the running total here. Running total is 6 shotgun blasts, a stab wound, and then the final blow, which is an uppercut with a chainsaw. Yeah, so everything's great. They get back in their car to leave. They kick back, put on autopilot, and oh no!
The greatest thing in this movie is Lila standing out of the sunroof, looking back, reaching for her sister, who is clearly already dead, and just screaming as the autopilot on the car is just driving her away.
Making it seem like you cannot stop a car if it is on autopilot.
I wonder if she stayed out of that sunroof the whole way home. Like, what's the buffer period that you have to stay and like screaming and like reaching back for her? And then we get a shot of Leatherface doing his best like Jedi Kid impression.
Fun fact, this movie cost $20 million to make. It wasn't even filmed in Texas either. So anyway, that's the end of the movie. Tommy, love it or list it?
I would say list it.
All right, thanks everybody. See ya.
Bye.
The only Saw massacre in this movie was when I saw it.
That's fantastic. I love that.